Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll video. Today I'm playing Modern, and this is a deck from Patreon subscriber Urchin. And Urchin has me playing Acererak, the Archlich combo. A lot has been said about this card with Aloran in Legacy. It's a 2-card combo. Aloran lets you cast creatures that cost 3 or less for free, and you cast Acererak because you haven't completed the Tomb of Annihilation dungeon. It returns to your hand, and you venture into the dungeon. And one of the other dungeons, I don't know its name, sorry. One of the other dungeons has a each opponent loses 1 life room in it, so you just keep casting Acererak for free, it bounces itself, and you complete that other dungeon enough times until your opponent dies. And you never go into the Tomb of Annihilation because you don't actually want a 5/5, you just want your opponent to drain infinitely. Aloran is not a card that's legal in Modern, but Rooftop Storm is. It's a 6-mana way to do the same thing that Aloran does for 4. You may pay 0 rather than the mana cost for zombie spells you cast. Acererak is, in fact, a zombie wizard. So that's the game plan here. We're gonna do a little Modern Aloran combo with Rooftop Storm. That's the gist of it. Let's talk about the actual list. This is the first list that Urchin sent me. It's clearly modeled after the Ad Nauseam combo decks. There's Lotus Bloom, Pentad Prism, or just trying to cheese ahead on mana, Pact of Negation to jam that combo through on your own turn, Profane Tutor to tie it all together, discard spells to make room. That's what Urchin was originally trying to do. And then I wanted to slow that down a little bit because I don't think that this would actually keep up with present day Modern. I think other decks are just as fast, but more stable and more disruptive along the way. So I wanted to settle this into a more controlling build. I moved it in a direction more like this, where we got Archmage's Charm, we got Remand. There's none of the fast mana, none of the cards that are just bad. This deck obviously is unfinished because I got halfway through making this change before I realized we don't need to be blue-black. We're not actually spending mana on Acererak. The only color we actually need in the deck is blue. And then the support color, Urchin originally chose black for the discard spells and the tutors, but you don't actually need black in the deck. And there's a lot of support for a blue enchantment in Bant. That brings us to this deck's final form, or at least the form I'm going to play in this league, which is obviously massively different than the thing that was originally sent to me. This is a completely different deck. It just has the same win condition. I did check in with Urchin, make sure they were okay with me completely revamping the shell. They said go nuts. So here we are in this Bant enchantment control deck that still wins with Acererak and Rooftop Storm, but it can actually play another kind of game as well. The first deck, the big problem with the Ad Nauseam build of it originally was that Ad Nauseam worked for a while because you only need 1 card Ad Nauseam. Like, you could Spoils of the Vault. You really only need to do one thing, and you just need to be hyper-focused on doing it. This deck needs Rooftop Storm and your Archlich at the same time, and it needs to keep its enchantment in play the whole time. It needs its creature to survive the whole time. Like, Path to Exile is on against this thing. If they just path your Lich in response to its bounce trigger, you're not comboing anymore. Like, this is a much more fragile combo than simply resolving Ad Nauseam and then winning the game deterministically. So I wanted the deck to have more play to it than just jam and hope. And we ended up in Bant control. No surprise here. If you watch my channel, you know how I love Bant. My Discord actually has a side channel called the Bant Lovers Association. No other deck has its own channel in that Discord. But here we are. ended up in Bant control. I really wanted to try Calix. I played a deck in Pioneer with Calix. It was a crazy Bant enchantments deck. It's actually an awesome league if you want to check that out. It is on the channel. But I was impressed by Calix in that. And Calix helps dig for the Rooftop Storm. It's also a removal spell, or a repeatable removal spell with its minus ability. The problem with adding Calix to the deck is you need a buttload of other enchantments in the deck. Looking at your top 4 cards to find an enchantment in a 60-card deck means you probably want at least 15 enchantments to at least on like average distribution. There is 1 enchantment for every 4 cards. And I had to do some stuff to make that happen. Like, I'm playing Abundant Growths literally just for Calix hits. On Thin Ice over other removal spells I could be playing. Rest in Peace. I'm not upset about this one because this deck doesn't really care about its graveyard. Like, you could argue that Hall of Heliod's Generosity would be good in case they counter or discard your Rooftop Storm. You can just keep rebuying it and jamming it. But I think the effect that Rest in Peace has on the format right now, there's a lot of decks that care a lot about their graveyard. Luris is just the entire top tier. So I like a main deck Rest in Peace. Dress Down, I'll look for any excuse to sneak that into a deck. I also just happen to think it's good. It's really good against Urza Saga decks and the Elemental decks and a lot of stuff that's going on right now. Detention Sphere is not a card I would normally put in a modern deck, but we're just trying to get to a critical mass of enchantments, and that's a removal spell of choice for that. And of course, the Rooftop Storm. And those enchantments add up to exactly 15. I couldn't get more in. I tried. It turns out that the Rooftop Storm and Acererak eat up a lot of deck slots. I actually started with 4 and 4 and had to whittle them down. I'm down to 2 Rooftop Storms and 3 Liches. The Rooftop Storm, I went lower on that because you really don't want to draw that card before it's go time. 6 mana is a lot in Modern, and it's rough to have that card just stuck in your hand. The Lich, you can at least cast for value and start entering the dungeon slowly, which you actually can do because of Abundant Growth. There are black sources in the deck now. But the Rooftop Storm, that's not a card you want to see until you have 6 mana and you're ready to go. Icefang Coatl, just a good Bant card. There's a bunch of Snowlands in the deck for that reason, which also gives us On Thin Ice. That was a free thing to get since we're doing that anyway. Teferi Time Raveler is one of the reasons to be Bant. Like I said, this combo is pretty fragile. Any disenchant, any removal spell, any counter spell will mess it up. Teferi is one of the few cards that checks all of those boxes in one tight little package. And a card that is a reason to be green. Benediction of Ronus, or Benefaction of Ronus. 2 and a green. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature and or enchantment card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into the graveyard. This is a card that you can... For 2 and a green, you can get the Lich and the Rooftop Storm. Obviously, that's the dream scenario, but there aren't many cards that can search your deck for a combo piece that is a creature and a combo piece that is a Rooftop Storm, and this gives you a lot of velocity in that direction. There are not a whole lot of creatures in the deck. Like, if you miss on the Lich, there's just Coatl for the other half of the creature side of this, which is a pretty low hit rate, honestly. But there's tons of enchantments, so this should always at least replace itself. And Prismatic Ending is just too good not to cut. Like, there are, and Archmage's Charm. There are elements of Bant control here, then there are elements of Enchantress, and I tried really hard not to skew too hard into Enchantress territory, because that's just a different deck, it's doing a different thing, and I think that adding Rooftop Storm to Enchantress is just making Enchantress objectively worse without being any cooler. So I built this particular Bant control deck with this combo in it. In the sideboard, there's just stuff you'd expect out of a modern sideboard. Supreme Verdict. Gaia's Blessing is for mill. This does not combo with Rest in Peace, so if we're playing against mill, we have to bring out the Rest in Pieces, bring in the Gaia's Blessing, but we're probably cutting Rest in Peace anyway against that deck. Additional Dress Down, Ither Gust, counter spells in Mystical Dispute and Flusterstorm. 4 Leyline of Sanctity. This is good against burn, it's good against discard spells, it's good against a number of things, and it's also an enchantment to keep your enchantment count high. A 3rd Rest in Peace for when you want that. And I have Archon of Sun's Grace. This is my pivot because most combo decks should have some sort of pivot in them in case your opponent just has like 4 Seal of Primordium in their deck for some reason, and you'll never be able to Rooftop Storm. Archon of Sun's Grace, 4 mana, 3/4, flying lifelink. Pegasuses you control have lifelink, and whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, make a 2/2 white Pegasus with flying. If your opponent cuts their creature removal because you're a combo deck, you get to bring this in and go to town, or just overload their creature removal. This doesn't work quite as cleanly as it normally would with a combo deck because Acererak is a creature, so creature removal does blank your Rooftop Storm. But if they've just kept in a couple Path to Exiles, you might be able to go wide. They're not going to have like Supreme Verdict or anything after board. So this is what I've done with the deck. I put a lot of work into this, but it's still a first draft. This is the first, you're going to be witnessing the first games ever played with this list in the history of Magic, and I'm sure we'll figure out better things to be doing, ways to tune up the list as the league goes on. Let's get into it. I'm on the play in the first round against a Lurrus deck, and I'm going to keep this hand. This has a nice spread of things. It even has Acererak, which is going to be a dead card for a while, but that's okay. We'll make it work. I'm playing one of each of these snow duels to keep my snow count up while still having good mana, which is kind of a tough balance in a 3-color deck. Are we? It looks like some sort of red splash hammer time. I didn't even know that was a thing, but okay. I think I want to Prismatic Ending the Sigarda's Aid, and I'm also gonna Abundant Growth my forest. I could have done that the other direction, but in Modern it doesn't matter. There's no days to play around, but I just played around days anyway. The more important spell that turn is Prismatic Ending. If this was a Legacy League, I would have just done it correctly, but it just doesn't matter in this case. All right, what do we got? You're still Pally. And they're passing the turn. Okay. I can jam Teferi into play. I can hold up Dress Down or Icefang Coatl. One important thing here is there is a single snow forest in the deck, and there's no snow plains. There's one Heath to get the one forest. I just happen to draw them both. So I can't actually get Death Touch onto my Coatl's turn, which means that I want to play Teferi. Oh, there is this one. Okay, I actually could have. I was just talking about the snow duels. There is one way to get Death Touch on my Coatl this turn. I think I want Teferi, though, and to just get to work with that. Do I want Breeding Pool or Hallowed Fountain in this spot is the question. Is green or white a more important color to have multiple of? And I already have an Abundant Growth thing. I think I want the Breeding Pool. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Breeding Pool, and then Teferi. I'm going to bounce the Paladin. Try to keep hitting land drops here. They can use the Nexus to take out Teferi this turn, but if they do that, that stunts their development because it uses both of their lands to get them there. Guess it will just depend on how much they care about Teferi. Okay, they care. But they drew a land. Or this is only turn 3. Okay, never mind. They probably just had the land. They can replay the Paladin. There it is. Let's keep hitting land drops, please. Teferi. Do I want to play Teferi here, bounce the Paladin? I could also use Dress Down to try to pull ahead. I could play Coatl in the main phase, try to hit my land drop. Dressing Down would mean that they don't draw cards from equipment next turn. Can also just keep treading water with Teferi. They have to spend all their mana again to do that whole turn over again. Yeah, I'm going to go for Teferi. I really want to hit my land drop. Is a big part of this. Still didn't manage to pull that off. If I get to 4 mana where I can Coatl and Dress Down on the same turn, that gives me a lot of control over the game. Giver of Runes, okay. Pure Steel Paladin, okay. And I imagine the Inkmoth is coming in. Drawing a fetch land or snow island right now would be the dream. Detention Sphere. Okay. I can get Pure Steel Pally out of here before they can load up. or protect it with Giver. I could also play Abundant Growth on Breeding Pool, hope to cantrip into a land and keep going. I actually think I like that. Do I want it on Breeding Pool or Floodplain? Does it matter? I'm going to put it on Floodplain, I guess. Didn't draw the land, did draw Prismatic Ending. And I can finally answer this Pure Steel Paladin for good. White, green. Get rid of that before the Giver can suit up. Esper Sentinel, that's a pretty good one. Like they're gonna get me for 2 poison here. Here come those beats. Still trying to find that land. Prismatic Ending. Okay, that's not the worst. I can get rid of Giver and still leave up Coatl. I'm gonna have to let them have a card off the Esper Sentinel though. That sucks. Do I have to? Like, what's the pros and cons of giving them a card versus not? I'm actually going to be patient. I think they are sort of spinning their wheels right now, and I want to keep them there. If their card in their hand is Hammer, they clearly don't have a way to equip it. I think if it was Hammer, they would have already had it in play, though. That Pure Steel Paladin had I think it had at least one opportunity to draw a card. Alright. I'm gonna play like I'm a control deck, use my life total and poison total as a resource. Here comes some additional poisoning. They're not attacking with Sentinel. Either damage is not their plan, or they just have a lot of respect for a flash creature, to the point that they're willing to attack even when I don't have mana to cast a flash creature. Okay, the 4th mana has arrived, finally. Coatl is a good one now. I can spend the turn... Alright, yeah, I'm not going to spend my turn Detention Sphering the Sentinel. I think Coatl plus Dress Down is my insurance policy right now. Oh god, they drew Sigarda's Aid. Probably dead. I guess I'm not literally dead, because I can remove Infect from their creature. With Dress Down, they get to draw a card if they do that. But if they do hammer up a Nexus, I will at least survive the turn. Okay. Blue, green. Flashing Coatl. And I'm going to block Esper Sentinel. I want that gone. They're going to get to draw a card along the way. This attack they're making is telegraphing Hammer pretty hard. See if they want to save the Sentinel or just kill me. Yeah, they made the right call there. Okay, so that is on there. Get to Dress Down. It will lose Infect. They do get to draw one more card along the way. But the Hammer will fall off next turn. I'm taking 12 damage. So I'm at 5. If they had another mana, they could activate Inkmoth Nexus. Oh no, they can't because it's a creature and it loses the ability to activate. Never mind. I'm lying. Okay, 5 life remains. We are running into the combo control problem of I have 2 pieces of my combo in hand, or 2 combo pieces that are not helpful without the other. So I'm basically just a control deck that has been mind rotted. Until I draw the Rooftop Storm and I win. But until that point, we are chilling. I think I have to leave up Archmage Charm. If they play another Hammer, I have to counter it. I guess I could take control of Sigarda's Aid. And then their Hammer's just in play. This costs 8 to equip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They could take a 2-turn line where they make a land and then... I don't know. Yeah, it's not... None of that makes a lot of sense. I was going to say they could equip Ornithopter for 8 this turn, and then next turn, attack. Luris is in their hand now. I think I'm just going to draw 2 cards with Archmage Charm right now. Try to find the Storm and go off. Or at least more interaction. Because I'm losing on the board, and... yeah, I couldn't just sit on the Archmage Charm because I was losing on board, as well as a like not really have control of their combo. Like I could hold up the Archmage Charm, make sure they don't hammer me, but in the meantime, it's just like just dying anyway. I can play Rest in Peace and Calix. Rest in Peace checks the Lurrus that they just played. Calix can eat Sigarda's Aid. So if I Rest in Peace, I could also Abundant Growth, draw a card, and then also Detention Sphere. Yeah, that's probably better than Calix. It does the same thing while drawing a card instead of not drawing a card. Let's get rid of Sigarda's Aid. And here we are. Dead to poison next turn. It's time to draw a Rooftop Storm or a Coatl. The creature lands are just insane right now. Like Calix can't answer them. I guess I could have played Calix this turn and plussed, just tried to hit the Storm and roll the dice on them just drawing a hammer and killing me with Sigarda's Aid. Okay, glad I didn't roll the dice. They searched up Shadow Spear and then cast Memnite. So their hand is Spear, Lurrus, 1 mystery card. I don't think Shadow Spear actually does anything on this board. I am just in trouble to this poison, unfortunately. Coatl is a redraw. Let's just draw the Storm and do the fucking thing. That's my preferred version. Storm. Rooftop Storm? Nope. Okay, I can do what? I can cast Calix. I don't actually know. I don't think there is any dungeon I can enter, even twice. Maybe I should look that up. Okay, here are the dungeons that exist. Each player loses life. Nope. Each player loses life. Nope. Discard a card. Nope. Dungeon the Mad Mage. Scry 1, gain a life. Nope. Scry 1, make a goblin, create a treasure. Nope, none of that helps me. I could enter the dungeon twice. I have 6 mana and 2 of it's black. I guess that Calix and Activate try to find something. Like, I guess I could find Abundant Growth, which could draw a Coatl. Like, that's a line that gets me another turn. Oh no, I found Rooftop Storm, but at 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna fail to find because I am dead on board and I don't want them to know what I'm up to. Okay. Yep. Or no, because they had the Stoneforge Mystic, so if I didn't exile Sigarda Aid last turn, I would have gotten hammered. Yeah, it just looks like a turn short, or like 1 poison point short on that one. That was a close game. They are a Lurrus deck, but I don't think Rest in Peace is what I'm interested in here. Gust doesn't matter. Dispute. If the game goes long, Mystical Dispute just for 3 mana is not a bad thing. Supreme Verdict is, like, fine. It doesn't help against specifically the poison creatures. This might be an Archon matchup, because just putting material on the board to block is a big deal. I think Benefaction of Veronis is not a card I'm going to have time to cast. Rest in Peace doesn't matter. I feel like maybe Acererak should take a break. Still have the combo in the deck. Do I want Mystical Dispute just to pay 3 mana and counter a spell? Is that important to me? Prismatic Ending's great, Dress Down's great. Dress Down's pretty awkward with Archon though. Because by the time Archon sees Rest in Peace or Rest Down, it won't have any abilities. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how that works. This looks like the best deck I can present to me. Let's do it. On the play, of course, because I lost. I can't keep this hand. I would keep this with a white source, obviously, but as it stands, oh god. Do I have faith in the deck, or do I go to 5? Can you go to 5 against Hammer? Or can you keep a 6-lander against Hammer? I think I'm going to try one more mulligan. Jesus. This has gone poorly. Round 4. Okay. I'll keep this one. I'm going to send Calix and Supreme Verdict to the bottom. And I guess also Rimewood Falls. Though, okay. I'm probably going to fetch for Rimewood Falls anyway. No, I need a white source. Okay, I'm going to put Rimewood Falls in my deck. That sucked. Let my land pass. I'm going to fetch for the snow duel, the blue-white snow duel first. Giver, we can get rid of that. What is this card called? Glacial Floodplain. Breeding Pool is not bad. I'm going to put this on Thin Ice. Get rid of that Giver. Play the Flooded Strand. Do I just get the Rimewood Falls? Then I don't have double white. Does having double white matter right now? Probably not. I just want to get the tap land out of my deck and get my snow count up. Stoneforge Mystic, okay. They have a hammer. I'm going to get rid of the tap land. I would really hate to draw that later when I need to hit my land drop. Guess I'm just going to exile the Stoneforge Mystic and hope for the best. They have Sigarda's Aid. It would cost 1 to play Aid, 1 to fire up Inkmoth Nexus, and they'd be out of mana for the turn, so they can't hammer me right now. Simian Spirit Guide is banned. This is the card I'd be worried about. So I don't have double white right now, or 4 mana. Thanks, Multifor. Saga, great. Canonist, okay. Does that matter? Does that affect me? Thing Needle, they named Calix with this? Oh, I guess Canonist shuts down my Rooftop Storm. Did they somehow have the Soul Read on that? Or Teferi? Yeah, nope, that card is much better. Yeah, Teferi's the right name. They saw a couple of those last game. This is where I just draw one. Ooh. If I find the white mana, there might be something here, but the Multifor is just brutal. Like, this match would have been hard on 7. The guard is 8. Okay, so they can just 12 me right now. Oh no, I'm just dead, if they want me to be. Okay, I guess they're respecting Coatl. They don't really have to do, but they don't know that. They can have 2 hammers next turn, and that's not white mana. Yeah, I'm just dead. Multifor wrecked me there. That's magic sometimes. Maybe this deck needs another land or 2. We are trying to hit 3 colors and cast a 6-drop. My original build of this deck did have 25 lands in it, but when I added the 4 Abundant Growths, I counted that cantrip as, like, let myself cheat the land count a little bit because I have these 4 cantrips in the deck. And then with Coatl and Dress Down, that's a bunch of cantrips. But maybe you just need the raw 25 lands. This deck was really hard to fit only 60 cards into, by the way. At one point I considered just like, fuck it, make it a Yorion deck. But then I decided that was probably just being lazy, and I kept it at 60. But yeah, Mana Trouble did come up in both of those games so far. Obviously, literally one match has been played ever with this deck, but I'm already figuring out how to improve it. Next round's coming. On the play, in round number 2, I'm going to keep it. It's a little chunky for a modern deck, or a modern hand, but we've seen this deck. It's mana hungry. It's got a lot of lands. It's got some interaction. I'm in. An additional thought on the land count business that I was talking about right before this round. I only added the Abundant Growths because I added Calix. And if you cut Calix, then you don't need Abundant Growth, and you can also, like, that frees up 6 slots for different cards, different spells. What I guess what I'm trying to spit out here is that we should be paying attention to how good Calix is over the course of this league, and if it's worth the effort to make him happen. It looks like we're playing against some sort of combo deck. My snow duels are all online here. I'm going to play Teferi and see if we get remanded. We're either getting remanded or Teferi's going to be insane. Oh, actual counterspell. Even better. Maybe. I don't actually know. If they're... I'm thinking they're not a combo deck now. A combo deck would have remand in that spot, not counterspell. Yeah, not a combo deck confirmed. Well, I keep drawing lands, so I will keep playing spells. Calix. Please resolve, please resolve, please resolve. Like, I don't think waiting here makes any sense. I don't have Veil of Summer in my deck, or really counter magic to fight back until 7 mana. Ooh, the storm is here. We got the combo. Opponent is pooping their pants right now. Like, if I wait a turn, they're going to untap into the Archmage Charm. And I don't have Veil of Summer or Mystical Dispute in the main deck. If I get a 3-for-1 off of just 2 burn spells, and I've already drawn Rooftop Storm, that's a deal. It would be weird to just fire off Lightning Bolt and I still get to activate this again. But I'll take it. Abundant Growth. Put it in my veins. Do I need to play around Spell Pierce? I don't think so. I'm gonna Abundant Growth this. See if I can bait a counterspell. But this Teferi will be great. Oh, they're holding up Cryptic Command. That's what they're doing right now. Whatever. I still get to test if they have it. Teferi is my Veil of Summer. They could like counter Teferi, bounce Calix, I guess. If they even care about Calix, but he's already drawn 3 cards. A counter draw on Teferi, that's fair. I just gotta hope this deck doesn't pivot into some sort of combo kill. Maybe I should have put Abundant Growth on a non-basic in case they're a Blood Moon deck, but they have a lot of non-basics to be a Blood Moon deck. There's no way that I'm just gonna jam my Storm into 4 open mana. I'm just gonna keep drawing cards here. I'm gonna fetch a basic island, and then I'm gonna enchant that with my Abundant Growth. Growth on that. Calix has drawn 5 cards at this point. Acererak. Okay, so I can cast Acererak and start entering the dungeon in slow motion, but then they're going to know exactly what my combo is, but I think that's fine compared to just doing nothing. Into the dungeon we go. And if this eats a counterspell, that's fine because I have the backup. I wouldn't have done this if I only had the one. They saw Rooftop Storm off of Calix. I wouldn't do this if they hadn't seen Storm either. Okay, so they're going to counterspell. I'm going to put Snapcaster on Thin Ice. Which is a little dangerous, I guess, because that gives them the option to counter bounce with a Cryptic Command and get a Snapcaster back. But I guess it's okay. It's better than leaving them with a clock in play. Snow is a super type, by the way, so even if they do have Blood Moon, that's not going to knock the On Thin Ice off. Okay, they are a combo deck. Cool. We're getting Emrakul'd. Alright. Yeah, they were able to dance through that one. Well, the good news is we're not dead. They are attacking me. Annihilate 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. That's clever. You basically get 2 free annihilates there. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Those are gone. I'm at 1. I still have Calix. Let's keep it going. Calix. On Thin Ice and 2 Detention Spheres. Guess I'll take Detention Sphere in case they have a Planeswalker of some variety. Abundant Growth, keep drawing cards here. On Thin Ice. I could just play that as material in case I get annihilated again, but if I get annihilated again, I lose, because I'm at 1. I'm also just dead to Lightning Bolt at any point. Okay, Prismari Command deals 2 to any target. They got me. Alright. Okay, my counterspells come in. Dress Down comes in. Gust, Flusterstorm. Do I want Archon? Probably not. Though maybe just having more threats is good. They do have Snapcaster Mage, but I'm not sure that Rest in Peace is really where I want to be. The Rest in Peace is Shave 1, Acererak. There's so many syllables in this word. Prismatic Ending doesn't seem like it has a lot of targets. On Thin Ice seems even worse, though. Yeah, I'm actually going to cut the On Thin Ices, which makes Calix worse. Maybe I should have some more On Thin Ice, less Prismatic Ending. Then I also get my Archons. Make room for Archons there. Leyline could stop bolts to the face, but I don't think that's the course to win this game anyway. The course to win this game is don't get hit by Emrakul, so you're in bolt range. Yeah, sticking to Teferi is going to be an important part of this game. If either of my Teferis resolved that game, I would have been able to storm out. Okay, I think this makes sense. The dress down is in because if they threw the breach in Emrakul, I can dress down after the breach resolves and Emrakul loses haste. I would like to play first. I'm going to keep this hand. It's a very good hand. I'm going to shock in Breeding Pool and just get this Abundant Growth in right now, so I can leave up mana for the rest of the game. I don't think they're going to turn 1 me. It's also Blood Moon protection. Putting that on a non-basic instead of a basic goes a long way there. Gonna get basic Island and Flashing Coatl in this end step. This is not an angle of the deck that was revealed last game. I'm not gonna cast Teferi right now. I can protect it with Mystical Dispute next turn. Just gonna hang out on my Archmage Charm. And I'm gonna try to draw 2 in the end step. Just keep this pressure up. Draw 2 resolve successfully. I have the multiple sources of white, or 1 source of white. The Abundant Growth gives me another, so I'm going to keep playing around Blood Moon where I can. Cast Teferi. I have Mystical Dispute. They're not on 4 mana, so they can't untap and through the breach me here. If they have Counterspell and Dispute, they can win the counter war here, but that's 2 things out of their hand. Okay, Teferi's in. I'm going to attack with my Coatl, then I'm going to bounce Coatl. So maybe I don't do that because then I lose Teferi to Bolt. Yeah, I'm just going to plus Teferi and try to keep that in play. Mari command, deal 2 to my snake, and then they're going to draw 2, discard 2. Sure. Glad I didn't minus Teferi because command would have killed it. Discarded 2 Emrakuls, wow. Get him out. My opponent's deck being pre-boarded against Mill is pretty dope. I'm going to float. No, I don't want to float green. That's just getting too fancy. I'm going to cast Abundant Growth on one of the basics. And then I can use Teferi to bounce Abundant Growth and cast Abundant Growth again. That draws me a zillion cards. I think that's worth doing at this point. I draw an extra card there. And cast Abundant Growth onto Flooded Grove. I draw an extra card there. And play this land. And I have a backup Teferi if they want to fight over this one. I can also just either gust a burn spell. Valakut Awakening. I'm going to let them do that. Having only 1 answer to stuff makes me not really excited to spend it on something other than Through the Breach. Ragavan with Dash. That sucks. I can Prismatic Ending that next turn. But if they attack Teferi, then I just play my other one. If they don't attack Teferi, then I can Prismatic Ending next turn. Yeah, that's fine. That one was already done. I'm going to get the white Snow Duel. Ragavan in this deck. Good to know. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can't quite pop that out yet. Do they have Force Negation? They do not. And I'm rolled up at this point with the Prismatic Ending that I can cast as an instant and Aether Gust. There's the Rag. They're attacking me. Let's end this little fella. Prismatic Ending, instant speed, Teferi, too good. Dealing 2 to Teferi and looting, that's fine. That's not what I'm going to gust here. I'm going to fetch the other Snow Duel with my fetch land in the end step. Discarding another Emrakul. Okay. Discarding their Emrakuls makes sense because that's not a card you want in your hand if you're not comboing, but it also is making their Snapcaster Mages really bad. Like, I just don't even have to think about that card right now because of all of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could Coatl now, or I could wait. I could just Archon right now. Yeah, I think I like Archoning right now. White. White. 1, 2. There's Archon. I'm going to shock in Breeding Pool, so they have to think about Archmage Charm. Or I could also just play Anthonice right now. It only exiles opposing creatures. Okay, yeah, I actually am just going to cash in right now and get a Pegasus. begin the beatdown. I have the Gust for Through the Breach. I have Coatl for anything else. I want to make sure Ragavan doesn't connect with me here. Cryptic Command to bounce Teferi and draw a card. Okay. And Coatl in the end step. Just keep challenging their counter spells, their instant speed interaction. Attack with my stuff. These Pegasi have lifelink, so this does get me out of Emrakul range. I'm pretty clearly just jamming into a counterspell right now, but I think I gotta do what I gotta do. If this Teferi resolves, I'm just winning. Remand. Okay, that's not a very good counterspell. It does take me off Gust for Through the Breach, but I think that's okay. White, blue, green. Oh, it actually doesn't. Nope, I just can't count. The board was getting cluttered. Running out of space there. Okay, bounce Abundant Growth. I've already made my land drop for the turn. Rooftop Storm, nice. So I have the combo rolled up next turn. I'm just going to keep Gust at the ready and pass. They have to kill Teferi and go Through the Breach and beat Aether Gust this turn, which I don't think is a thing they can do. They're just going to bounce again the Teferi that's already drawn a card. Sure. Deal. Dress down is exciting. I guess I can't play Storm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'm 1 mana short of playing Storm, or Teferi and then Storm. But I am going to go with Teferi first. Add the counterspell, sure. Then Abundant Growth, one of my breeding pools. Draw a card. Found a land, that's pretty cool. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is 5 mana any different than 4? I don't think so. For the purposes of Counter Wars, like I don't think there's a Force Spike in the format, or in this deck that they're going to play, and I have Gust plus Dress Down. Those are my 2 points of interaction. Okay. They're dead on board to Pegasus. And they packed it up. That was great. That's the power of the sideboard juke with the Archon, because I had the whole combo rolled up in hand, and I just didn't need it. They were dead to the board and dead to my hand, which is a good place to put any opponent. Now we've seen Ragavan. Does that change anything? I already have On Thin Ice in the deck, and I have Prismatic Endings in the deck, both of which are solid against a cast Rag. Prismatic Ending combos with plus Teferi to remove a dashed Rag. I don't have a lot of answers to dashed Ragavan. I think that I have to cut in On Thin Ice for a Prismatic Ending. Let's give myself the chance to exile the creature. And that's the only change I'm going to make. This hand looks pretty great. I'm going to keep it. They have a tapped Castle Vantress. I'm going to shock in my breeding pool and get this Abundant Growth set up. Protection from Blood Moon established. Oh, that's a crazy looking Cascade Bluffs. Dashing Rag, just getting in there with that. Okay. I think like the best card they can steal from me is Abundant Growth. Let's hope they don't get that one. Prismatic Ending. Go ahead, cast it. Cast it, cast it. Coward. Okay, it's lucky that I had the other one in my hand already. I'm just gonna pass with my Coatl available. If we get into a fight over this Rag, like if they dash Rag, I flash in Coatl, they bolt my Rag, or they bolt my Coatl, or whatever, then that's less mana and interaction they have available for Teferi. And they didn't leave up blue for this Coatl right now. So if they answer it, it's gonna have to be a burn spell. I guess they could have Remand, but I get to draw a card anyway. Okay, deal. They took Benefaction of Ronus. Go ahead, jam that one. Good luck. The 2 treasures does leave up blue now, unfortunately. Things I can do include fetch basic island, jam Teferi into this blue. I could leave up Archmage Charm, try to counter or steal Ragavan. Probably want to counter it, because Dash will still bounce it at the end step even if control changes. As we've established, Teferi is the most important card in this matchup, just the way the last game played out. The fact that I won the counter war over that first Teferi was just everything. I'm going to try to counter this thing. Counter spell. Okay, it's gone. The immediate pressure is passed. Now we just have to worry about getting our breach breached. If I slam this Archon, I die through the breach. I think I'm just going to hold up, represent as many counterspells as I can. Because I have to bluff something. If I jam Archon, I just die. If I jam Teferi and lose the counter war, I just die. Because I would win. I would fight over Teferi if I could fight. They bottomed their Serum Visions. Oh no, they're just going for it. Let's hope this is a bluff. Shit. Okay. They just jammed their thing into 4 open mana out of a blue deck, but they got paid out for it. If they have 2 breaches and 1 Emrakul, that makes sense. Like, you could send out a test breach. But yeah, they just had it and I didn't. Next round. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. On the draw, in round 3 against Solaris deck, I have kept this perfectly reasonable Bant hand. Goblin Guide, yikes. My hand just got less reasonable. And here comes the Goblin. Revealed Prismatic Ending. That was lucky. I'll take that one. There is no basic planes in the deck, though. But I guess I take 3. Okay, so let's think about this. I can take the same 2 damage from getting hit by Goblin Guide that I would take from shocking in a Hallowed Fountain. But I could just not do that and take the same 2 damage from an attack and get another look at a land. But if I do that, then I'm playing off curve from Icefang Coatl. Okay, yeah, I'm going to shock in. I think the curve consideration is worth whatever else is going on here. Hallowed Fountain. Ouch. Not having a basic plains has come up a couple times this league. Maybe I should have one in. But it doesn't cast Archmage Charm, and it doesn't filter through Flooded Grove, so maybe I should not have a basic plains. Just gotta live with that. This Icefang Coatl is not going to be anywhere near Death Touch, at least until turn 5. Oh, Dome. Alright, we are getting blasted here. The good news, if you can call it that, is that I don't think Coatl's going to need Death Touch if they're just on the spell, onto spells now. Okay, I can block something here. It won't be a trade, but it will absorb damage. Nice. I had a brief second of like, do I want to draw a card, then reveal, or reveal a card, then draw? And there's no like strategic value to doing it one way or the other. It's just gut check. Do I think the land is on the top or the next one down? Turns out the answer was both. I blocked that. Another Boros Charm. More like Boring Charm, am I right? I can Detention Sphere the Goblin Guide, or I can hold up Archmage Charm. I think I want to Sphere the Guide. Because I have to answer that thing. And I think Archmage Charm will be better as a counterspell than as a removal spell, because Detention Sphere doesn't have the option of being a counterspell. So I'm going to use the thing that just does less, or does fewer things, first. I could just die right now if they just Boros Charm Lightning Bolt, GG. Yep. Okay, I'm at 1. Let's do this thing. I have 3 dead cards in my hand. These fetch lands, not where I want to be. And I think I just have to leave up Archmage Charm. Because they have the... If they didn't have Sunbaked Canyon, I probably would stick to Fairy right here. But this is 3 looks before they have to find a Lightning Bolt. I'm drawing another one. Who puts Horizon lands in red? This is not fair. Ooh, Acererak. I don't have an abundant growth to enter the gain life dungeon with that. My opponent can only lose this game if they mess up. Like, if they just wait until they have 4 or 5 burn spells in hand, there's no way that my spells can line up, because I can't fetch, I can never double spell. If they just show some restraint, I can't actually win. Okay, abundant growth. Oh, I should have hit my Misty. I'm so dumb. That was a mistake. Didn't even think of that. Yeah, that should be on Misty Rainforest. Whoops. Okay, they've drawn 3 extra cards from those so far. I'll counter this. And then just die to the other 3 cards in their hand. It's all good. There might have been some World I could keep playing if I put that on the Misty like I'm supposed to. Just 1 less mana to operate with for the rest of the game. I'm probably dead right now and it doesn't matter. But if I wasn't. Yeah, okay. Good thing this Prismatic Ending isn't Path to Exile, or I'd feel really bad about that. Alright, Mardu Burn is the matchup. Gust looks good. Leyline looks real good. Archon looks real good. I don't think I want Rest in Peace. I think Lurrus is just there because it can be, not because they're actually really using their graveyard. I like Flusterstorm. What is not as good here? I think one of the Liches can go. I actually think Calix is really bad here. It's just a 4-mana card that doesn't impact the board very much. Or at least not in a way that's important for this matchup. Dress Down can remove haste from their creatures, or it can turn off Eidolon for a turn, but I don't think that's what I'm looking for here. Prismatic Ending and On Thin Ice both look good. They can answer creatures. Detention Sphere is pretty clunky. Benefaction of Ronus. Okay, that card's out again. Someday we'll play a Control Mirror where I'll Benefaction for crushing value. Do I want Supreme Verdict in case they get a bunch of creatures in play? I don't think so. Between the 4 On Thin Ice, 4 Ending, 4 Coatl, is Supreme Verdict better than Detention Sphere? That one's a little more interesting. But Detention Sphere is an enchantment for my Archon. Okay, I'm gonna do it this way. And I am gonna keep the combo in because just like being at 1 as a control deck, you're gonna lose eventually. So being able to just jam on the gas is nice. This hand I am in love with in any other matchup, but I don't think I have the time in this one to do this. There's also Leylines in my deck now, which are give me some incentive to mulligan aggressively. I'm gonna do that. Oh, this one's worse. Gotta mulligan this one again. Ugh. Do I think 4 is going to do better than this not great 5? Like, I would send Rooftop Storm, back up Archon to the bottom. I think I have to stay on 5 here. Rooftop Storm, Archon, get the ship. That was unfortunate. Oh, my opponent's also on 5 cards, though. What happens in your burn deck where you mull to 5? That's unlucky. But I'll take it. My plan is to fetch the Snow Duel, the Snow Tundra, with Flooded Strand, because I have a double white card in my hand that's very important to have available. Opponent stopped on 5 cards. Let's go. Arid Mesa. This is where I'm always like, please suspend Riftbolt, but they had Goblin Guide. Give me a land. Undo this mulligan? Yeah. I'm back to a mull to 6. I get the Snow Tundra. The Glacial Floodplain. I get Breeding Pool into play tapped right now. So I have pain-free mana all the way up to 4. Gotta see if we can make it that far. Though Archmage Charm is a nice one along the way. So they have a heavy creature draw, that's pretty bad. Actually, that might be okay. If Archmage Charm can steal Swift Spear and then eat Goblin Guide in combat, or at least blanket. Alright, we're back up to 7 cards. Thanks, Goblin Guide. But we are at 10. Glacial Fortress is in. Pass a turn. Combat. I'm going to gain control of Goblin Guide. Or do I gain control of Swift Spear? I think I gain control of Swift Spear. No, I'm going to take the Goblin Guide. I'll take that. If they bolt Goblin Guide so they can attack with Swift Spear, then that's 3 damage I didn't take. They'll get a trigger off of this, but it's still just a removal spell that gained me 4 life. Yeah, Lightning Bolt, you got it. Okay, I'm going to jam a 3/4 lifelink, and Riftbolt's been suspended. Oh, tough. Tough stuff. Oh wait, this isn't that tough. If I play Teferi, bounce, Swift Spear, the Rift Bolt gets hard countered. Okay, yeah, no. Change of plans. Here's Teferi. Bounce Swift Spear, make them spend mana if they want that. And then I'm going to play Hallowed Fountain tapped. Sneak an extra mana in here. Rift Bolt gets countered because they can't get cast. See if they put any energy into killing Teferi, or if they just come at my face. Okay, that one only goes face. They couldn't be fooled. They're putting me to 2. Okay, probably a little slow here, probably a little dead. Just gotta hope that their hand is literally empty. Okay. GG, one of us is dead. Two dead cards in hand. Your hand is 2 Rift Bolts. Or it's like Goblin Guide, Goblin Guide. I'm fine with that. 2 creatures, fine. 2 Rift Bolts, fine. Creature Rift Bolt, also fine. Eidolon, okay. Okay. You're saying there's a chance. Maybe. I can plus Teferi. I actually have a 6-drop enchantment I can cast right now. I would go to 1 for fetching, and then cast Rooftop Storm. I can attack myself back up to 4. I have a 2/2 lifelink blocker. Alright, I mean, I'm gonna make this play. I'm at 1. Let's go. Rooftop Storm. I can't hold up the Gust anyway, because they have Eidolon. Rooftop Storm is in play for the first time in my entire life. Okay, here we go. I'm back up to 4. If they can Lightning Bolt my Pegasus, I die. If they just have like another creature, I can bounce Eidolon next turn, hold up Gust, make a bunch of... Please draw a card. Oh yes, they drew a card. Pass a turn, pass a turn. Okay, they didn't attack. Teferi gets to bounce Eidolon, then I get to do stuff. Oh yeah, that'll do. It's also just a 4-drop. I'll play this. Get a trigger off Archon. I'm doing this first so they can't bolt me in response. Hell yeah. Taking 0 from Eidolon. Okay, that was stressful. Figured it out on the mull to 5. I guess this is a question I've been asking a lot. Do I want Mystical Dispute just as 3-mana counterspell? Because my plan is to drag this game out. If I am doing that, what am I cutting for it? It's probably Detention Sphere and the other Detention Sphere. Like if I cut the 2 Detention Spheres, I could also just get off the combo, which I don't really want to do because I love it. I love that option to just escape from a game that I can't win otherwise. I'm actually gonna split them. 1 Detention Sphere, 1 Mystical Dispute. Let's do it. On the draw, this hand is definitely too slow. I will be taking a mulligan. Okay. We have a Leyline. They saw the Leyline last game, but I am going to keep this and bottom one of the Flooded Strands. Keep bottom Flooded Strand. Done. Pre-game effects. Leyline in. Okay. Here we go. Going to be how many creatures they can produce versus how quickly I can answer them. Goblin Guide. Found me another land. Rooftop Storm. Perfect. Abundant Growth. Let's dig. Get the mana set up. The other Leyline. Not what I was looking for. Goblin Guide. Gave me another land. Alright. We didn't have Eidolon. Prismatic Ending. Hell yeah. That's a relief. Remove this creature. Now they got nothing going on. Land number 3. Let's see if they wish for Lurrus right away. Wow, they did. Yeah, they have a handful of burn right now. I'm gonna get the Snow Tundra. Okay, deck, for real. I'm good on those. None of these 4 lands are white, so if they do have something like Wear Tear that could remove Leyline, they can't play it. I'm gonna get the other Snow Duel right now. Come on, deck, answer to Lurrus. Oh yeah. I'm gonna Though their handful of burn can certainly get pointed at my creature instead of my face. Leyline doesn't do anything about that. Let's just hope it's Lava Spikes and Boros Charms, not Lightning Bolts. If I untap with this thing, I win, but there's a good chance that their 5-card hand can just kill it. If they attack with Lurrus before killing my Archon, I'm not going to block. Or maybe I am. Do I just block that? Okay. They're not going to give me the choice. Well, hardcast Skewer. Okay. Okay, deck. There's a lot of answers to creatures. Just need to find them before this Lurrus kills me. Maybe I should have cast the backup Leyline. Maybe not. I don't know. Does that matter? I guess it probably does matter. I should have just put that into play. So they found white. If they just have like Wear Tear now and light me up, that was completely avoidable. Fetching thins a bad draw out of my deck and sets up my mana, but it also cuts a turn off the Lurrus clock. Okay, they're giving Lurrus double strike. Wish I had a removal spell for that. I think I'm just going to take my draw here. Abundant Growth, okay. Growth. Come on, deck. Removal spell. Alright, we get to go again. Abundant Growth. I'm going to put it on the Misty Rainforest so I don't have to fetch. Coatl. Removal spell. Ooh, okay, well. That's not the worst thing there could be. Like, I win next turn. So, black, green, colorless, the Lich. Actually, I don't win next turn because I don't have 6 mana, and I'm at 1 on board. Okay, I have to look at my handy dandy dungeon cheat sheet to figure out which one of these I actually want. Oh god. Why is the Magic Online window above the window I opened more recently? Okay. The one that I actually... Oh, Yawning Portal, Dungeon of the Mad Mage, gains me 1 life, which I think is what I need to do to turn on my fetch land. Tomb of Annihilation is the one... I believe Tomb is the one that this guy cares about. Yeah, alright, so I want the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and I want to gain 1 life. Okay, I have exactly enough life. If they have nothing, I'm at 1 and get to go off next turn. Okay, I die to a haste creature. I die to Eidolon of the Great Revel. I die to Boros Charm. I'm explaining how the dungeon mechanic works to my opponent. Clearly they haven't drafted this set. Moment of truth. Fuck. Alright, we lose. Well, I guess if they don't have a spell, they can just bolt themselves to get to 5 at this point, though, with the trigger. I could still draw an untapped pain-free land and win if they don't have a spell. Alright, they're tapping mana, we're dead. Deflecting Palm. Next time a sorcerer of your choice would deal damage to you this turn. Okay. They just name any random thing, and then I'm dead. Okay, so that game came down to going 3 turns without finding an answer to Lurrus. And I think if any of these redundant ley lines is just Prismatic Ending, on Thin Ice, Detention Sphere, whatever, Icefang Coatl, this game is easily mine. This is the closest we got to comboing out. Heartbreaker. Okay, next round's coming. I'm on the draw in round number 4. This hand is not keepable. I had 1 non-snow land. This hand looks pretty great. I'm keeping this, and I think I am going to send land number 4 to the bottom. This Teferi seems pretty important. And the removal. My opponent is not a companion, which makes me think they have Murktide Region in their deck. That's like the only reason in Modern not to be a companion deck. Like Murktide Region, Primeval Titan, basically. Or Rooftop Storm. My opponent just passed the turn. Are they Reanimator? Was that a misclick? What are we dealing with here? I'm gonna get my basic forest and grow up. abundantly. Okay. I've undone my mulligan, kinda. Alright, my opponent's definitely on Reanimator. And they're just... okay. Weird. I thought they were gonna pass the turn again. Fucking sus. Okay, I'll get my tap land in right now while the getting's good. See what they're doing with this Wooded Foothills in the end step. Again, they played their land in their second main. This is weird. I don't know. They're doing weird stuff. Probably doesn't matter. Probably thinking too much, giving them too much credit, and they're just being weird. And I'm like, oh god. But they missed their land drop on turn 1. I'm going to jam Teferi plus and pass the turn. Just going to plus to stay out of bolt range. Next turn I'll probably bounce my Abundant Growth, draw a bunch of cards. Oh, is this Living End? No, okay. If it's Living End, the Teferi's bonkers. Because you can't suspend or cascade. Okay. Oh, it's Goblins. Conspicuous Snoop. Am I dead? Alright, I'm not dead. That's lucky. Alright. Acererak. I think I should... So I could plus. Like, why would they keep this hand other than Goblin Ringleader? Like, next turn it seems likely that a 2/2 haste is coming my way. And how important is Teferi in that world? Alright, I'm gonna float green and then draw my extra card with Abundant Growth. Okay, Anthonice was a good find. I'm gonna play Flooded Strand and Growth the Strand. Just gonna save damage on fetches where I can. And then I think I do want a Prismatic Ending the Snoop. I guess I do actually have to pay a different color. I can't use Flooded Growth for this. Right, end the Snoop. And that's that turn. I'm a little worried about Ringleader. Anything else is mostly fine though. I am ready to combo off though. I have my Liches. Oh my god, I'm so surprised by this card. Right, they found a Sling Gang Lieutenant. And we get to kill Teferi. That's why I endinged last turn, because on Thin Ice can get the 4-drop, where Prismatic Ending really struggles. I mean, it technically can, but it's a lot harder. Alright, we're going on Thin Ice here. Get rid of that. I'm gonna start going into the dungeon, I guess. I think the Lost Mine is the one I want to be in. I get to scry one. Put that to the bottom. Then I'm going to play my Breeding Pool tapped. So I just scryed, I don't want to use my Flooded Strand to fetch and put that scryed card back into the deck. Coming into 6 mana and still being at 19 against goblins feels pretty good. They have another Ringleader, that's scary. Here's the ring. They found a Skirk Prospector and a Crater Maker. Take my beats here and then just draw Rooftop Storm right away. Archmage Charm, okay. I can make a goblin. Ha, that'll show him. Make a treasure. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go back into the dungeon and make a goblin. Black. Yeah, make a goblin token, and I'm holding up Archmage Charm. Not that that does a whole lot. I think Draw 2 mode is actually pretty good. Never mind, it does a lot. They have this Cavern of Souls over there. That's not great. Who's the goblin deck now? There's no Muxus in this format, so I don't need to worry about that one. Sling Gang's coming through the cavern. The race is on. I'm definitely going to chump block this 2/2. Under the bus you go. And a turn I'm going to fetch a basic island and draw 2. Charm myself. Show me that storm. Is it true? Are we there? I even have the second Lich if they have Munitions Expert. I am rolled up here. Okay, let's start clicking. Oh god, can they kill my Rooftop Storm somehow? Red-black doesn't do that. Stop it. They even had the Munitions Expert. Disappointing. Alright, I'm going into the Dark Pool because that's my win condition. And we're in there. Pew 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 pew. Okay, looks like they're going to make me click through it, but that's okay. I will rejoin you all when the combo's over. Checking back in mid-combo here. The final room in the Lost Mine is draw a card, which the Magic Online display, at some point, the Lich is no longer in the cards you could see. So you lose precious seconds on your combo having to scroll to the right to find your Lich to click it again. And this combo is taking longer to execute than I thought it would. It's still better than Bomberman, but it is pretty slow. They're almost dead though. 5 life remains. Entering the dungeon for the final time. They're at 1. Here it is, the actual kill on the stack. Enter the dark pool for the final time. Bang. Storm is 68. It is certainly an opponent's prerogative to not concede to a combo on Magic Online. The clock is part of the game. That said, I think they were being kind of a Salt Lord there because I had the second Lich. They were like, oh yeah, got it locked up with my munitions expert, but nuh-uh. Okay. I'm gonna pivot onto Archon. Dresstown's really good against goblins. Their whole deck is enters the battlefield triggers. Aether Gust ignores Cavern. That's pretty nice. Rest in Peace doesn't matter. Calix could be pretty cool. I think I want to leave some number of Liches still in the deck. Benefaction of Vronis. Okay. I'm pretty sure that card is bad after playing this league. I was so excited to try it. It seemed like it did everything the deck wants to do, but 3 mana is a lot to ask in Modern. I'm actually going to go to 1 Lich. Or not 1 Lich, down 1 Lich. Having the second one matters, but Teferi, like I said, I acknowledge the possibility of our combo getting broken up by a removal spell, and Teferi checks that box just fine. I want all my creature removal. The Archmage Charm drawing 2 was pretty important that game. All of the spot removal is going to be good, especially the early stuff. And I just gotta get to Archon and take over from there. I think maybe Calix is the worst card left in the deck right now. I think that the final build of this deck will not include Calix. Then we get more lands and stuff. I don't know. Alright, got him all again, this no-lander. His hand's not great. It does have a removal spell, 2 removal spells, and half the combo. I guess I'll keep it. Though I will say I'm not excited about it. I'm going to send Flooded Grove to the bottom. Let's see if they skip their first turn again. Nope. They determined that strategy is not a good one. Get my Snowland in because that turns on my On Thin Ice. I guess I could have played Hallowed Fountain tap this turn, save 2 damage, and like played the tap thing. Yeah, that would have saved... Ooh, Blood Moon, huh? That's the thing we're doing? That was a good Abundant Growth. Okay. Shock in Hallowed Fountain. Yes. Abundant Growth on the Hallowed Fountain. Play around that Blood Moon a little bit. And then On Thin Ice. The Goblin. The second Abundant Growth is just huge. If they waste any effort on this Blood Moon, I'm just going to dunk them with the Abundant Growth. Is it Blood Moon time? Well, they got their basic swamp, so yeah, they're going for Blood Moon. Snow is a super type. Abundant Growth is not timestamp. Oh shit. Magic Online does this wrong. I forgot about that. Abundant Growth operates in a different layer than Blood Moon, so I'm actually getting a bug report. Okay, so I'm just going to concede this game. Like, I should just have easily juking Blood Moon here. Abundant Growth is on a different layer than Blood Moon. Like, Dryad of the Elysian Grove turns a land into all land types, and Blood Moon turns those lands into mountains, so timestamp matters there. But Abundant Growth is an enchantment that grants the ability, add 1 mana of any color. So there's a layer that grants abilities, and a layer that changes types, and the Abundant Growth should not be affected in any way by Blood Moon. That's a bug. I'm going to submit a bug report for that one. Okay, so gonna have to fetch basic lands for game 3, even though I shouldn't really have to. Alright, just firing into game 3 here. Okay, I have a basic. I'm gonna keep this. Plus Coatl is just really good in this matchup, in general. Okay, so I'm gonna lead on my basic. Not making that mistake again. Gonna do what I can. It's nice that we're playing for free though, because this league has not gone super well yet. Opponent mulled to 5. Alright, I have my other basic too, just in case. Maybe I should have played that Forest to get closer to Death Touch, but the Forest doesn't cast the Archmage Charm, so I'll get Death Touch eventually. A Snoop with Fiery Islet on top. Flash in my Coatl. Coatl found Rooftop Storm. Alright, we're getting set up here, team. I think I want to take the damage to remove Snoop. That card just seems really scary. Get that out of here, yes. I'm going to attack with Coatl because I don't think there's any haste creature they could play this turn that I would want to block, just chump block. Like if they have Goblin War Chief, I want to wait till I have Death Touch to interact with that thing, or the second Coatl and double block it. Okay, we know they just drew Fire Islet and then they played Bloodstained Mire. They didn't fetch their Swamp, so I think they don't have Blood Moon again. Matron, sure. Matron found Ringleader. Teferi, do I care about that? Probably not. I'm going to hold back my Coatl. I can trade with Matron. Unless one of their cards in hand is also a Cavern, I'm going to counter the Ringleader. Alright, that's not a Cavern. And we know one of their cards is Fiery Islet. Counter target spell. Get rid of it. Okay, cool. Now I'm pretty well set up. I'm going to target the Forest. I would target a non-basic land if I thought this was going to work correctly, which I don't. I'm going to play Teferi, bounce Abundant Growth, and then replay it on the same basic Forest. Just trying to go off here. Leave my Coatl back. It's got the touch. Another fetch land, still holding Fiery Islet. They fetched their basic Swamp this time. Did they draw Blood Moon? Okay, War Marshal and Chieftain. Okay, yeah, they're just bringing the Ruckus. Okay. My Coatl does have touch, so the Chieftain itself probably isn't going to get rowdy here. Then I can end the Chieftain. I have another Coatl for their next thing. Okay, they're just going upstairs with this. I will trade off with the Matron. Just trying to keep their Goblin count low. I don't want to just get cheesed out by a Sling Gang. Plus this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, I'm gonna put Rimewood Falls into play tapped. I can exile Chieftain at instant speed and still cast Coatl. There's that Fiery Islet. One card left in their hand. Hope it's not Ringleader. Drawing their card with Islet. They did have the Blood Moon, so I'm gonna go white, blue, green, and Prismatic Ending the Chieftain right now. I don't care about Blood Moon, I'll ignore that. I could ending that, I just don't care. Okay, there's your Blood Moon. Still have Coatl. If I draw the Lich, I can Rooftop Storm. And I have Calix. I guess I don't have Calix because I have white or green, but not both. I'm gonna see what I draw before I make a decision on this. Oh, Dress Down's a nice one. Yeah, I'll make the trade with that. Dress Down checks a lot of the Goblin boxes. So does Prismatic Ending. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ending the Blood Moon next turn. Maybe I should have done it now. Because unlocking Calix and starting to shred through my deck sounds like a good deal right now. The world's saddest Aether Vial. Yeah, they can hit Teferi with that, I don't care. Target, Blood Moon, white, blue, red. Get rid of that. Probably should have done that on my turn and just jam Calix. But I'm a fool. Get my basic. Play Calix. White, green, colorless, colorless. Plus Calix. I definitely don't have time to combo out again, so I'm gonna have to find some other kind of win con. Unless my opponent will concede to the combo, which they showed me last game. They might not do. It's unfortunate I wasted so much time taking screenshots and talking about the rules with my opponent in game 2. Shame there even is a game 3. I think I was winning that game 2 if Abundant Growth worked how it's supposed to. Okay, that missed. That's fine. Plus Teferi. Ship it. Dress down is just gonna chip. It just covers most of the things I'd be worried about out of this deck. Like haste creatures, no more haste. Draw card creatures, they don't get to draw cards. Prospector, whatever. I don't care about that card anyway. Still going after Teferi. I'm gonna fetch my Snow Tundra, and Teferi will take some damage. Extremely interested in my Archon at this point. Gust is a good one. Calix, show me the money. Wanted growth, love it. Green, grow a basic. Flooded Strand. Don't really love that, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's the Rooftop Storm. I'm ready. As soon as I find that Lich, it's go time. They said GG, but I don't have the Lich yet. Does saying GG mean you're going to concede if I have it? Sling Gang Lieutenant. Alright, I'm going to respond to that. Shock in, Hallowed Fountain. And Dress Down. I don't want them to get the 2 Goblin tokens here. Found an Abundant Growth. They can attack my Planeswalkers for 2. Or they're just going face now. They know where this race is. Calix, let's go. Help me out here. The Supreme Verdict just went to the bottom. Come on, Archon. Coatl. Growth again. Detention Sphere, okay. I don't hate that. Plus Teferi. White. Blue. Colorless. I'm gonna hit this Sling Gang right now. They get to ping me for 1, but at least it's not gonna kill me next turn. I've been pinged. And I think I just want to Coatl now. Green, blue. In case I draw something I want to tap out for. That's not it. It's good to know I have that, though. Calix can ultimate, but all that does is put Dress Down into play. So I'm not super excited about that. Oh god. All of my permanents join the red zone for some reason. Thanks, Magic Online. 5 minutes left on my clock. Archon. Supreme Verdict, not bad. On Calix. On Thin Ice. Teferi, alright. I'm gonna plus Teferi. No, I'm not. I'm gonna make green. Bounce. Abundant Growth. Replay Abundant Growth. I have a million on Thin Ices and another Rooftop Storm. Their creatures are gone. Okay, here we go. We really need to find an Archon. Probably should have bounced that Vial, actually. Whoops. Instead of my land there. Or my thing there. Resetting Vial, I think I can never lose this game. Kiki Jiki, Mirror Breaky. Let's... I'm gonna actually let them have that. Because I can gust whatever they target with it. Like if they just Vial in something right now, but I can on Thin Ice it if they don't do that. Oh, right, this creature can just attack for 2. That's true. I'm a 3. I want to hit that with on Thin Ice. Okay. Are you going to concede? Or are we doing this? Ugh. Alright, well I can't do this fast enough. Okay, put that on top. How do I do this? I can draw a card eventually with this. Goblin Lair. Dark Pool. I'm just going to draw this card and then cast the thing. Alright, here we go. Time to pivot. White, white, white. Colorless. On Thin Ice. Target this. Make white. Get rid of Kiki Jiki. Plus. Plus. Get on Thin Ice. Cast on Thin Ice. Just trying to get damage on the board. Okay. It's nice of my opponent to waste 12 minutes of both our time, take advantage of a Moto bug, and then lose anyway. Get got, nerd. Vials at 4. They're top decking. Please don't draw Ringleader. Skirk Prospector. Don't care. Perfect. Now I just attack twice. Here comes my lifelink squad. Calix only exiles creatures or enchantments, so I can't get rid of the Vial, which is the only card I'm really worried about here. But maybe Detention Sphere or something can. Oh, Dress Down, fuck yeah. That'll close the door. I'll just make another Pegasus for good measure. Plus Teferi, and we got plenty of time to attack one more time. I have Gust, I can flash in Supreme Verdict if that's important. I also have Dress Down. I'm not going to fall for this violin business. Like, if they vialed in 2 and I flash and Dress Down, and in response they vial in Recruiter, they win. Or not win, but like they get a Recruiter activation. Alright, and they packed it up. That was 12 minutes well spent. On to the next round. I'm on the play in the final round, and I'm not going to keep this one lander. We're playing against Slipknot88. I hope that username is from 2003. That just sounds like a username that any one of my friends would have made in 2003. Okay, keeping the 6-card hand, keeping the low-cost interaction, shipping the Rooftop Storm. I don't want that just yet. My opponent does not have a companion, so I'm going to operate like they have Murktide Region in their deck for now. And I'm going to fetch the Snow Tundra, as usual. That sets up my On Thin Ice. White is the color my basic lands don't make. Ooh, a Temple Garden deck. This double On Thin Ice hand is probably going to be pretty good. I guess the question is, do I hit the Hierarch? Or do I try to control the payoffs? I think I am going to hit Hierarch with this first one. If I only had one, I don't think I'd spend it on Hierarch. But being able to fight on curve up into this Archmage's Charm is appealing to me. Like, if they get to jump the curve or double spell or bully me through this Archmage Charm, the game gets a whole lot harder than if they just can't do that instead. Like, who knows what terrifying 3-drop they would have jammed into play this turn, but now I'm just ready to counter it. Whatever it is. And drew a replacement removal spell anyway. Never punished. Uh-oh, it's a Bant Mirror. Gonna have to keep an eye on the clock the entire time here. Teferi. I'm gonna draw 2 cards in response. And then I'm just gonna exile Teferi on my turn. Which should motivate them to just draw a card with Teferi, because obviously I'm gonna kill it, or else I would have just countered it. Blue, green, and white. They have Force of Negation, I don't even care, that's a 2-for-1. Oh, they didn't even activate Teferi, plus or minus, they just passed the turn. I'm gonna get my Flooded Strand in. They jam Jace this turn, that's gonna suck. Like Stoneforge Mystic, I have a bunch of answers for. Let's figure out what sort of Bant deck they are. Karn, that's so much worse than anything else I said. If I had Prismatic, or Abundant Growth, I could exile a 4. I can draw Abundant Growth this turn. I have 5 lands, so if I draw Abundant Growth, I can actually exile this 4. Benediction of Bonus. Is it time? I guess so. Jabronus. Here we go. Creature and enchantment. Show me both. Alright, got both. Okay, so put them in my hand. I'm going to shotgun Breeding Pool, because I do intend to cast this Icefang Coatl. Unfortunately, if they blow up my Glacial Floodplain, they get their Noble Hierarch back. There's the coding. It's going to get one thing, then I'm going to ending it. But in the meantime, it is going to get one thing. That sucks. Blue. They kill that. They get their Hierarch back. Green, Coatl. I do still have 1 Snowland. I can go on Thin Ice again. This is not a good counterspell if that's what they're thinking about doing. Like, they saw the Lich off of Benediction. They should definitely be saving their answers for that. Oh, Benefaction. I keep saying Benediction. I clearly don't know what either of those words actually mean. Now, I guess the play... Gonna Abundant Growth my Flooded Grove. I can Prismatic, I think they have Counterspell. I just really do think that is the case. Which is a nightmare. But if I don't go for the exile right now, I'm never going to get the chance again. So red, white, blue, green, zap. Yeah, shit. Okay. I'm going to lose this one. I guess that's not true. I have hit all my land drops. I am doing okay over here. If I find a Detention Sphere or whatever, they are going to take me off 4 mana, but the next Prismatic Ending exiling Liquid Metal Coating also breaks up this combo for a turn. They can just wish for the coating again, because Ending does exile it, and Karn says exile or out of the game. Teferi. Okay, I mean, I'll play Teferi. Another Counterspell, that's pretty good. I can't even on Thin Ice because they can just blow up that land. I'll give it one more draw step to remove this Karn, and then I'm gonna just go to the next game. Going after my Hallowed Fountain this time. Oof. Okay, never mind. I'm done. Even if I remove one of these Planeswalkers, I'm gonna die to the other. Okay, so my opponent is the same deck as me, except they have an integrated, nice sort of win condition rather than a crazy one. I don't think Rest in Peace or Dress Down are important here. I want my Mystical Disputes, my Flusterstorm. They are Bant, but I didn't see any green cards that are going to kill me. So I'm just going to hang out on the Aether Gust. I want the Archon, though. I do want that sidestep. Shave a Lich per the usual. Rest in Peace and Dress Down don't matter. Quaddle's fine. I do still want my combo kill. I do still want my Prismatic Ending, but I think I can live with one less on Thin Ice. Okay. This is my plan. Let's go. Benefaction of Ronus was nice, though. First time I cast that card, it delivered. Still lost the game because we were already getting Karned, but it did find the Abundant Growth I was looking for, set up a potential win line later. It did what I put it in the deck to do. I'm going to keep this playable hand. And I'm going to lead on Hallowed Fountain tapped. This sets up pain-free mana all the way up, at least up to 3. I can Quaddle next turn off the Flooded Grove. There's the Flooded Grove. I reckon their Windswept Teeth in my end step. They have a Misty Rainforest. I'm going to end step this Quaddle. So I'm either going to end up with a Quaddle or with a Teferi. They didn't fight over Quaddle. That's the right call. I'm going to attack first, see if they like flash in their own Quaddle to trade, and then I just jam Teferi. That would not be a good play, by the way. Alright, cool. My opponent knew better. I'm going to fetch the basic forest and growth it. Nice. Alright. Kind of wish I drew those in the opposite order, but it's alright. Just don't kill me with Teferi this turn, and we'll be alright. We'll get along just fine. So I think in a game where we both have Teferi in play, I'm favored. Because I'm more of a tap-out deck anyway, and they have a bunch of actual counterspells. That is not to say that I want them to jam Teferi here, but it certainly looks like they're gearing up to do that. They are a Karn deck, though, and I'm over here like, I'm a tap-out deck. Meow. So are they. Okay. They have counterspells, but they also have Jace and Karn in their deck. There's a lot going on here. Oh, Gideon of the Trials. That's a cool one. Yeah, they're like the full Planeswalker control strat. Respect. I can squeak a Teferi in here. I could also just exile Gideon. I could jam my Archon. But if I Teferi now... Yeah, I think I want to just Teferi now. See if they have Force of Negation. Okay, I'm gonna float green and draw 2 cards here. I could have bounced the Quaddle to do the same thing, but it would have taken me a turn cycle to get it done. And let's just draw cards now. I like cards. That interaction has been sweet. Whether Abundant Growth is in the optimal build of this deck or not, whether you want to support Calix or not, Teferi being able to immediately Divination with its minus ability has been great. Oh, Utopia Sprawl. They're on that ramp game. I have to exile. Hell yeah. I would love to use that ability. Thank you. Wow. That was generous. Oh, I guess that lets them kill Teferi. Okay. Defensible play. I'll allow it. Still pretty happy about it. Glad I cashed in Teferi when I could. Mystical Dispute is a banger. I'm gonna play my Flooded Strand and my Archon. Do I want to play Archon or do I want to play Defense Grid? Or Defense Grid, lol. Detention Sphere. Next turn I can play Archon with full counterspells up. Yeah, I think I just want to end the Gideon. So, white, blue, black. Just get that out of here. It looks pretty good in this control mirror. I'm still holding up Archmage Charm or Mystical Dispute. Okay, I'm only holding up Mystical Dispute, it seems. Now let's get rid of that right now while we can. I'm still representing Counterspell, which is a card I don't play, but it is a card they do play, and if they're giving me... if they're also treating this like a mirror match, they might think about it. Oh, Narset's really good. Alright, good thing I have an answer for it. I considered putting Narset in my deck over Calix when I had just a different distribution of incentives before I added a bunch of more enchantments to the deck. Like, Narset could just be the right card to be in that slot instead of Calix. This is a good turn, though. I get to play Archon and then also D-Sphere, Exile, Narset. Or I can Archon hold up Archmage Charm, both of which are pretty decent. And they didn't find a land drop for Counterspell. Gonna fetch one of the Snow Duels. Probably the Tundra, because I have Flooded Grove in play, which filters green as I need it. My hand right now is pretty white hungry. I'm just gonna fetch a basic instead of playing the Breeding Pool. I don't want to draw lands anymore, so I'll take these thinning options where I can. White, white, colorless, colorless. Archon of the Sun's Grace. And I think I want to D-Sphere or Narset just right now, while the getting's good. Before they get another card out of her. Shit. Yeah, Mystical Dispute's a good reason not to do that. Okay, their hand has Karn in it. Narset's dead to combat anyway. They shocked in. They're planning on spending 5 mana this turn. Fuck. Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to lose to this Teferi Hero of Dominaria that they just found off Narset. They might have had one anyway, because they did shock in, or they were just playing to their outs. It's hard to be sure. Yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to let them have Narset for the turn, hold up Archmage Charm. Yeah, I'm definitely losing now. Or not. Or I just had another one the whole time. Okay, white, white, colorless. Colorless. There's Archon. I'm gonna shock this in, and I'm just gonna play my On Thin Ice. I just want another creature on board. I'm gonna need to pressure these planeswalkers. So, let's commit to it. Fairy went plus. Little Teferi. I guess now or never. Counter target spell. They don't have double blue up right now. If they have Mystical Dispute, they can use that. They can't counterspell. They can't Archmage Charm. They can Path to Exile. Now I have to choose, do I want that other Archon or do I want the land? The Archon is third from the top, so I draw one card, then I draw the other Archon. Yeah, I want the land. Teferi's countered. I will get an attack off on these Planeswalkers. They're going to have 3 mana, or more, because they have Utopia Sprawl. Alright, now the plan's all coming together. See it. I see it now. I'm going to attack Teferi. That's the one that's actively destroying me right now. Okay, it's gone. I am going to go into the dungeon. Don't think I'm bluffing anything by not doing this. Oh shit, now I have to look at the dungeons again. Scry 1, gain a life. Yeah, I think the Scry 1 is just the best dungeon, which is fine because that's the one I want to go in anyway. Lost Mine. Scry 1, put that on the bottom. And I'm out of black mana, so ship the turn. They know my hand. They can jam Karn, if that's the play. They don't have a counter spell or a creature or a removal spell. Or at least they didn't a moment ago. Okay, that's good. That gets to bounce my Pegasus, and then... Oh, they're just Fate Sealing me? Interesting. Aggressive. Like, I'm gonna get to clear Narset this turn, unless they have another path. I'm out of basics, so path is just removal now. Ouch. Alright, that was just removal anyway. They bottomed my card with Jace. It must have been good. Let's draw Rooftop Storm right now. Coatl. Alright, that doesn't help me now, but I can draw a card on their turn. We get 1 card per turn. Acererak, let's go. I'm gonna make a 1/1 goblin here. Just something to threaten Narset with. I have plenty of mana. The 2 rooms I could go in there where make a goblin or make mana. Brainstorming with Jace now. Fetching. That powerful legacy interaction of Brainstorm Fetchland. Looks good. Right, well, Coatl is now or never. This could draw into a counterspell or something else I could play right now as well. Okay, ending's good. I can hit the Teferi. Teferi's probably going to bounce the Goblin, but now I do have 2 attackers. I'm going to attack Narset because I would like to draw more cards. And knowing which Planeswalkers are still alive will inform where I'm going to point this Prismatic Ending. Cool. So I actually get to remove Jace. I probably shouldn't have searched because I did just scry something to the bottom that I don't really care about. Alright, yeah, I can remove Jace with this Prismatic Ending. Black, blue, white, green. Get him out. I hope that was the right call. We can just settle back into idiot mode here. Though they do have Karn, so they're not that much of an idiot. At least not as much as me. With this other Abundant Growth, I could just take the L and not cantrip off it, and then I get to enter the dungeon twice per turn. But that's not even good if I can't draw cards, because the final room of the dungeon is draw a card. Alright, let's Lich. See what happens. Drain them for 1. And draw a card is the final room. Does one of the other dungeons do anything better for me? Like if I go into Mad Mage, exile top 2 cards, you could play them this turn. Like eventually that's something. Okay. I am gonna Abundant Growth and take another spin through the dungeon. Don't get to draw my card. Just finish off this dungeon and go into a different one. I'm not bluffing anything. Like they have 3 Planeswalkers in play. I'm dead really quickly. I just have to shove all my resources into play and hope something good happens. And by good, I mean completely miraculous. They could cast Karn now, wish for the liquid metal coating right away, and turn off one of my black sources in my upkeep. And then this dungeon speedrun isn't even really a thing. So I could still rip Rooftop Storm off the top and GG them instantly. Did they emblem with the first Gideon at all? I don't think that they did, because they do have a Gideon in play. And I'm taking my beats here. There's the coating. They get to Rashad and port me, so I have 1 draw step to roll them all. That wasn't it. Oh, they didn't even coat me. They didn't take the Rashad and port. Okay. 5, 6, 7. I'm not dead yet. I think I want to go into Mad Mage, gain a life. Go into the dungeon again. Scry 1. Fuck yeah. Oh my god. Well, here we go. Everything is on the line. Do they have a counterspell or not? Also, why couldn't that card be 1 tick closer to the top of my deck? And the answer is Narset. I would have found that card 3 turns ago if Narset let me draw cards at the rate that I wanted to. Between the dungeon I completed and the Abundant Growth, this Rooftop Storm would have been in my hand, but of course, Narset messing me up. Okay, it's counterspell, removal spell, or bust. This is my 1 chance to YOLO win this game still. It's on the stack. Oh my god. Are we in there? Do they have nothing, or do they have a removal spell? Starting to click. Oh wait, what is Twisted Caverns? Target creature can attack. Oh no, I want Goblin Bazaar. They haven't interrupted me yet. Scry 2, that's not gonna matter. Oh wait, the exile your top cards, you can play them, actually does matter. No, it doesn't, because of Teferi. 2 skeletons. Alright, 2 skeletons. We do appear to be dungeoning. Bottom, top, top. None of this matters. Okay, now I just speedrun the other one. They don't appear like they're gonna concede. Mine tunnels, make treasure. Dark pool, drain you. I mean, their life total is pretty low. So this won't take too long, but I don't have that long. I'm on my last trip through the dungeon now. They are dead. 1 life remains. And I have 7 minutes on my clock to win game 3 into the dark pool one more time. Okay, sideboarding. I don't believe that I will have time to combo, so I think I should just get off it. But I don't have like a full turn the corner, go off plan. Like, I already have my Archons in the deck, which are my aggro plan. Yeah, maybe I just need the whole thing. Okay. I guess there's a world where if I can't drain them out quick enough, I can like drain them halfway and make some number of goblins. Because the room before the drain makes a goblin. And I could just like make a lethal number of goblins, drain them halfway, cut the combo in half, pass the turn, and clench my cheeks. I'm going to mulligan this 1 lander. I'm going to keep this multi-lander and ship the Lich. If they had emblemed up their Gideon at any point, their 3-mana Gideon, I would not have been able to win that game. Flusterstorm's interesting, but it's not going to counter the whatever Planeswalker they're jamming this turn. Yeah, this deck is really cool. Just a critical mass of Narsets, Gideons, Teferis, just busted shit to do on 3 mana with the Hierarchs to power it out. A cool deck. I like it. I don't like that I'm losing to it, but I do like the deck. They're activating Narset again. Found Gideon. Cool. They don't appear worried about Counterspell. They're just jamming this Mamma Jamma. I'm going to scare them by fetching. Make them regret their life choices, but then just put a land into play tapped and let their thing resolve. Aha, I tricked you. You thought I had something, but instead you win. Forgot to activate Gideon, tricked him into that. That's twice they've done that. Okay, I do have the Archon now. Oh, there's something there. Gideon made an ally. Better late than never. Another Hierarch. The second Hierarch means I can't even steal their ally to eat this one. I'm going to steal the attacking one, though. Just jumping ahead on mana. I got to find a way to cheese this game, because I can't win it normally in 5 minutes. I would not make this play if this was real life. Okay. I'm surprised they spent a counterspell on that. But okay. Now they're tapped out of counterspell. We know their deck has Path to Exile in it. I only see 3 colors of mana right now. So I might be clear to jam my Archon. Like they don't have any counterspells up right now. Prismatic Ending can't get this. If they have Path to Exile, it is what it is. But I'm gonna jam the thing into play that I can. Uh-oh, they're fetching. Do they have the path right away? Just like that. Ouch. I'll get the forest. Alright, now I'm dead. That was my chance to cheese this. I played around everything I could, but they had the path when the dust was settled. Gideon can just blast in. Dead in 2. This is a 5/5, this is a 2/2. Don't even have any redraws. Don't have either half of my combo. And I guess this thing technically exile. Nope, doesn't. Because if I exile the 2/2, then they attack with just Gideon and they get 2 exalted triggers. I'm just dead. Alright. They had me beat. Their deck is much just like objectively better than mine. Just more coherent, better spells on average. And otherwise doing a lot of the same things. No surprise we lost that one. Final thoughts about this deck. I think Calix is pretty bad. So I think that you'd want to remove the Calix, which frees up more normal spells. Like, you can play real spells over Detention Sphere. You don't have to play Abundant Growth anymore. Though that was pretty good with Teferi anyway, and the Prismatic Ending gets you a little higher up. I did exile a Jace and win a game that I wouldn't have won otherwise because of that. So I think that Calix gets cut and 2 more lands just come in, and then Benefaction of Ronus can also get cut, and then On Thin Ice gets a lot worse because you can just play normal removal spells like Path to Exile when you don't have to have a critical mass of enchantments. I'll tinker around with this, and the list that I post in the video description will be the one that I come up with to move forward with. But this was fun. Obviously, we're doing something that's a little off the beaten path, and Modern is an extremely powerful format, so we didn't win a whole lot. But we were playing for free because of the Moto bug, so thank you, Magic Online, for that money-back guarantee. We got that one going at least. And again, like, if you want to try this rooftop thing, then maybe the turbo combo build is just better. Like, maybe trying to settle in and be a control deck that also does this is a mistake. Maybe you do want to be an Ad Nauseam deck, though I'm pretty sure that I would rather be doing it this way. Maybe we could find ways to get faster mana in. Like, maybe we can bring the Penthead Prison back, jump up to that Rooftop Storm a little faster. Maybe we can play Noble Hierarch. Like, these are all things that can be considered and are worth looking at. Utopia Sprawl, maybe that's something we want. So definitely a lot of angles here that have not yet been fully addressed. So thank you, Urchin, for asking me to play this. This has been a fun deck building puzzle, and the adventure goes on. If anybody out there comes up with a better build of this, or has a build of this already, even if it's not Bant, like, whatever, if you're rooftop storming in Modern, please drop your list in the comments. I'm excited to see it. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want me to play your deck or try your crazy brew, just like Urchin, you can join the Patreon, join YouTube membership, and that's a perk that's available to subscribing members. If you want some merch, there's BoshNRoll merch. If you want to try real Magic cards or buy this deck, there's an affiliate link for TCG Player where I get money if you shop. That helps me out a lot, costs you nothing. So click that link if you're buying cards. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.